Welcome to my monthly video for writers for July. I'm Audrey Kalman. It is mid-year, a good time for assessment to see how those shiny new plans you came up with for 2021 are playing out. That's what I've been doing for myself over the last few weeks and also with a number of other writers. And I have heard a lot of frustration. I'm not meeting my goals. I'm not working as fast as I wanted to. I will never get this book or this story or this project done. As I've been thinking about how to help them and myself, I've been checking in with my inner planner, kind of like an inner critic, but maybe I hope a little more helpful. And this month, I'd like to talk about befriending your inner planner and about two kinds of energies that inform the process of achieving your goals. I've noticed a tension between what you might describe as masculine and feminine energies when it comes to goal setting. Now, if you think about it, the very idea of achieving a goal has a kind of masculine quality. In fact, some of the writers I've been working with prefer different language around this, like realizing a dream or enacting an intention. I know my first inclination around completing a task is to call on that go-getting masculine part of myself, the part that often works hand in hand with the logical left brain. It makes a lot of lists and spreadsheets. It buys project planners. It checks things off, moves forward. In general, it takes action. Of course, all this is pretty necessary if you're actually interested in completing something. What I'm coming to understand, though, is that we need to be effective, what we need to be effective toward an intended outcome is a balance between those masculine and feminine energies, between doing and dreaming. But in the process of looking for balance, there's the question of how do you avoid falling so deeply into the dreaming or the resting, the receiving, the contemplating that you never get anything done? I do want to remind everyone that I'm not talking about masculine and feminine as gender identities here, but rather more in the internal psychic sense, and to acknowledge that all of us, whether we identify as male or female or non-binary or some other permutation, have inside of us both masculine and feminine qualities. I am practicing calling on my masculine side to set up a framework for getting my projects done. So that could mean making sure you have enough time in your schedule, could mean setting boundaries around your writing time with colleagues or family. And this way, instead of steamrolling over your creative side, the masculine can become an ally, a protector, a holder of space for that side that needs the quiet and stillness in order to go deep and to create. Bringing this around to an analogy I often make, and one that's always appropriate in the context of the workshops I run with Jennifer Brody called Birth Your Truest Story, I want to draw a connection with birthing. So when I work with heterosexual couples who are having babies in my capacity as a birth doula, I often suggest that because the mother will naturally need some rest and physical recuperation after giving birth, the father might think about taking on the role of protector and supporter of the mother's space. He could do things like encouraging the mom to rest, ensuring that the household runs smoothly, limiting visitors, coordinating friends and relatives who want to help, all those practical steps that make the space for the mom and the baby to grow. Of course, it doesn't have to be a male who does these things. I'm simply talking about taking advantage of that masculine energy. In the same way, you as an individual writer can work with this energy to support a story that's being born by using this part of yourself to do things like figure out how many hours you need to write each week to keep the demands of the world at bay and generally set up those conditions that allow you to be creative. Coming back around to the inner planner, another parallel with birthing is the idea that we bring our existing selves to the birth. We also bring our existing planners to the writing process. If you're naturally a doer and a getter, you may have no problem setting up a schedule or plan or even sticking to it. But you may have trouble slowing down enough to listen to that creative voice inside, that the one that may only speak up after an hour or a day or a week of stillness. If you're naturally a dreamer, you may be mightily frustrated when the book you've been working on for 10 years still isn't done. But rather than getting down on yourself for what you're not, I hope you'll recognize your strengths and recognize that you have both of these energies within you. And you can practice cultivating one or the other so you can move forward from where you are to where you want to be at the end of 2021. I have a little prompt-based exercise I've worked out to help you with this. If you would like to get a copy, please see the link below. Thanks again for joining me for another reflection and exploration. I'll be taking the month of August off from these videos, but I'll return in September when Jennifer and I launch the next session of our Birth Your Truest Story workshop. Registration is open now, and you can find details either below or on my website. Until then, may your masculine and feminine energies work in complete harmony to support your writing.